Hello and welcome everybody to Integrated Safety Management Systems. My name is Matt Ebertson, I'm the convener and the tutor of this unit, and it's my pleasure to take you through the world of safety management systems for the next 12 weeks. So what with everything going on with COVID, this is going to be an entirely online unit, but that doesn't mean that you aren't going to have me and also my colleague Tony Power, who's a PhD candidate that's helping us out as an assistant tutor. We're both here for you to talk to and to touch base with as often as possible to keep your learning on track. So what is this unit all about? Well, it's about safety, obviously. And I realize many people will hear those words and go, oh, safety, it's about compliance, it's about doing nothing fun. Well, all right, so a lot of safety is about making sure that things are contained within a certain spectrum of what is right. But I find it an absolutely fascinating subject because when you think about it in the context of aviation, aviation is such a complex system. It's so fraught with hazards and things that could go wrong. Yet on a day-to-day basis, nothing does go wrong. In fact, when you get on an aeroplane, you expect everything to be pretty boring, really, and go smoothly. And that is because safety has been built into the system. There is a lot going on behind the scenes that makes that happen. Safety just doesn't happen by accident. And forgive the pun, we'll come back to that one a bit later on. But an important element of the title is that this isn't just about safety. The unit is called Safety Management Systems, and it's the management systems that's really important. So we don't just go about safety in an ad hoc way and just go, oh, we could do this which would make things safer. No, we build a system which makes sure that every flight is safe. So how do you do that? So by the end of this unit, I want you to be fully cognizant of all the knowledge around safety management systems, but not only that, I want you to be job ready. I want you to go out the door and be able to get a job with an airline when hopefully the airlines get working again, or with any of the sort of allied industries that also need safety experts. And there are lots of them, and we'll talk about that throughout the course. I'm going to try and do some interviews with some ex-students and some of my friends who work in the safety field, both in aviation and outside of it, in order to give you a bit of a flavour of what is possible. Now, this unit is going to be different in that respect. So it is a third year unit. So I expect that a lot of you are third years or fourth years, but I know not everybody is. Some of you are first years and second years, so don't panic about that. But what a third year unit should be is really showing your mastery of the aviation skills that you've got. So this isn't just about building knowledge. This is about you being job ready. The unit, therefore, is going to be a little bit different and a bit more complex. I don't mean complex in terms of the material is going to be harder to understand, but what I do expect is that you are demonstrating now that you are applying your learning and all the knowledge that you've built across the entire course so far in order to sort of show me in the assignments that you are ready to go out there into the real world. So your application needs to step up just that little bit. For that, if you look at the assignment structure for this unit, you might initially get a little bit scared because there are a lot of assignments. Each one of them, though, is very small. It's only worth 10% as a maximum. What we've decided to do with this unit is break down into sort of a micro assessment model. So we've got lots and lots of little tasks for you to do. None of them is worth that much, but each one, when they all build up, will give you the 100% of possible course marks that you need. That means there is no gigantic essay, there is no end of unit exam. By the end of week 12, you'll be handing in your final piece of assessment, which itself is worth 10%, and then you'll be done. That means that you need to stay on the ball. The assessments are spread throughout the unit. So there is plenty of opportunity for you, if you like, spread the risk and to pick up marks. But the assessments they're not essays. They are deliberately designed to be in a format, and I'm about to get attacked by a prehistoric beast or a cockatoo. I'll explain the location in just a moment. They are deliberately designed so that you're doing the sorts of thing that you'll be doing in the workforce. They're not academic, if you will. They are behind the scenes academic, they're testing your skills and knowledge, but they're actually designed that you go through the process that you would do if you're a safety manager in an airline or any other aviation or similar industry. And for that reason, we, Tony and myself, have decided to do a whole role play. So what better way to get you ready for working in industry than to essentially make the next 12 weeks a simulation of you working in a job. So what we're going to do is you are going to enter an airline called Cape York as one of its safety manager, well, as its safety manager. And you are going to serve a career over 12 weeks, a bit accelerated maybe, in that airline. And the unit is split down into 6 modules, and each module is essentially a phase of your employment within that carrier. And you'll be tackling all sorts of safety management issues. Very little of it related to sort of flight operations. So if you're not one of the flying students, actually this unit is going to be great for you because it's really orientated a lot around ground processes. With that in mind, I want you to play along. I want you to embed yourself in the fact that, all right, what I'm doing now is not handing over a piece of work which is for my university tutor. I'm handing over a piece of work which is for my employer or the airline that I work for. What would they want it to look like? What sort of quality does that have to be? They're only very small tasks, but it's how you do the task, not how much you do, that's important. The group work element of this is going to be kind of interesting too. I know nobody really particularly enjoys handing in and working in groups. And I know we always tell you that that's the way the real world works. So I want to try and simulate that as much as possible. You will be, for a great proportion of this course, working in a team. So that means that when you're trying to figure out the solution to the problem I set, you've got a team of people, small teams, 3 people, to work with. However, not all, but most of the assignments are handed in as individual pieces of assessment. So essentially, you work behind the scenes and you make use of your team members' knowledge and your knowledge, and you try and design, figure out what the solution should be. But most of the time, individually, you will hand in an individual solution based on what your team figured out. So that means that if you use the team properly, it's a really good advantage for you. You can use all of your brains and help each other out, but also there's no room for freeloading. So this was a bad location choice. So what I say is there's no room for freeloading. So if your group member isn't contributing during the discussion phase, well, they've still got to hand in their own piece of work anyway. So don't think that you can just get away sitting in the background. So I want everybody to contribute, and I want everybody to actually come out with some real world skills. And I know this is odd and something which we say, but I genuinely want you to enjoy this process. I don't want this to be 12 weeks of pain and labor. I want this to be 12 weeks of learning and being ready and excited about going out into the industry. Because that's how I'm going to be excited, you know. That's I used to work in safety. Tony used to work in safety for an airline as well. We know it's a fun and challenging job, so we hope to communicate that to you. Now the location, last bit before I sign off, the location, I am in Canberra, in our nation's fair capital, and actually just over my shoulder over there is Canberra International Airport. I came up just before Melbourne got locked down for the second time. I came up for a holiday, and now I'm stuck here for a significant period of time, probably the entire semester. So I'm going to use this opportunity, and I'm sorry if I'm rubbing in that I'm outside, but I'm going to try and show you different locations and go to a different spot for each week's introductory video. Over my other shoulder, a few kilometres in that direction, is Woden, where the CASA headquarters are. Which is the, obviously, Civil Aviation Safety Authority, which is central to this unit. So we'll try and get out there and see if we can do a bit of filming too. Other than that, right now, all I need you to be doing is looking through the unit as it stands. I'll open up the modules progressively. First module, runs over 2 weeks. You can see the assessment items that are in there. Come to the workshops. The workshops are really important because it's the only chance for me to get face-to-face with you. There are no marks attached to them. You're not being tested, if you will, but there is now, I have good evidence to show that the students that come to the workshops and ask questions and have a conversation with me actually pass the course with HDs, all right? And those that don't, and I don't know their names because they never show up, they're the ones that have trouble and they either fail or they're borderline. So come along. There are opportunities just to ask questions about the week's learning material. So the learning materials are really me giving you knowledge which you can then use to solve the problems, the industry style problem of the week or of the module. If you've got any problems, email me using the Canvas internal email system, the Canvas inbox. Much easier to get in contact with me rather than it getting lost in all of my Swinburne emails. So I'm really looking forward to working with you. I'm sorry this intro video has been a bit long. I also thought that I've always fancied myself to be a sort of in the field correspondent reporter. So here is apparently a high risk location. Thought it was safety relevant because there's unexploded ordnance behind me. I don't know what that means exactly, and I don't know why it's here on Mount Ainsley. We shall find out. Hopefully I'll make it back to the car without exploding. Cool. Looking forward to working with you. All right, take care, and yeah, introduce yourself to me in the discussion boards, and please come along to the workshops. And don't just do it in text. Turn on your microphones when I say it's okay to, and turn on your videos too. We all want to see each other. It's getting boring being sat in our own homes. It's at least a chance to do a bit of socialization, if nothing else. All right, I'm there to have a conversation with. All right, guys, see you soon. Bye.